Hey, what's up, everybody? We're back with another Reddit Ask Me Anything with the man, the myth, the legend, the Mohawk. Although you can't see the Mohawk, Esteban.
Let's go, baby. We alive. Let's go.
Where are you at right now?
I'm currently in Esteban, Michigan right now.
Nice.
Right, I'm at the office. I'm at the office.
Is the office like an actual office at work, or are you at the offices in the gym and you're training?
Where's I was at the gym training right now, man. No, I'm actually at my official business office right now. It's a little trailer that we got out here in Esperia. Doing a lot. I'm working on a business on the website right now. I got a huge website coming up that's going to be helping out with people, like a blog that's going to be helping with people that got certain problems and people that are going through the same kind of problems. They'll be able to help out as well. And I've just been kind of getting my hands on dirty with that cybersecurity stuff, with that and all that crazy WordPress stuff. And it's a whole new world for me, man. But I'm knocking it out, getting it done, and moving forward, man. Getting
How
ready to
did you?
take
How
flight.
did? How did you end up in this job? That sounds like a pretty cool. Like it's not something you would picture somebody who punches people in the face would be like all involved with the computers and stuff.
Well, man, I'm not your ordinary person, man. I'm a professional painter, actually. And right after all this, I got to go finish painting a door, actually. I got a fiberglass door I got to go paint up. And then, I got to get my ass in the gym right after that. But so I have like an hour during my last interview to kind of work on the website and get things up and running with that. And I've been building this thing straight from scratch myself, man, using Elementor, and it's been crazy, man. I've been trying different styles of different skill sets to try to, beat adversity. I would say, I guess you could say, and I've picked up quite a few skills on the way, and I've been able to cut out a lot of middlemen. So I figured I might as well start taking this boxing thing serious, since I'm going to be the next $1 million fighter and the next 205 champion of the world in the BKFC. So I figured that's time, man. I got to get my LLC up and running. I got to get my website up and running, and I got to start trying to push out this message to the world.
Awesome. So now, are you planning on sticking with BKFC, or are you going to kind of be open and do whatever comes your way, or like are you
Well,
just
I mean,
focusing
yeah,
on?
as far as it goes, like BKFC is no doubt my world, man. There's nobody that's been able to fuck with my stand up really, as far as like, well, I mean, I just finally found, like, this is finally my game, because I finally found the Titans, you know what I mean, where I can test myself. And like, I've really never put myself to the test like this before. Being toe to toe, like I went 9-1 as my amateur days, all knockouts. And like my last fighter, Jomi Escobar, has been the first person in my entire life that I went toe to toe with that has been able to, make it to the, throughout the whole round. It's the first time I've ever made it all 5 rounds, with somebody going toe to toe. So it's been a learning experience for me, man, and it's just the beginning, man. It's just the beginning. I couldn't really click that last fight, so now this next fight, woo, you better buckle up.
Okay, so the Jomi one threw me off. I didn't see that one coming. Honestly, I thought I saw like I could see a potential with you and Miller at one point because I thought, okay, these guys are both 2-0 and they're coming. They're both big knockouts, and like the Jomi one came out of nowhere. Did you kind of arrange that one, the Jomi fight, or is that he asked for you, or?
Nah, man, I mean, I'm not sure exactly how that fight really happened. I guess, the matchmakers, they're doing their thing, man. They know exactly how to put on a good fight. And they knew it, man. They knew seeing both of our skills, and they were like, all right, this is going to be a big test, milestone for both of these guys. And Jomi is no pushover, dude. He's the world champion in the 185 division, you know what I mean? And it's like, that
Sure.
man brought it. He brought it. He was definitely the biggest test of my entire life. And he gave me my dream fight, man. I was that dream fight I always wanted. I always dreamed of. I'm getting in there. He's getting in there. We going back and forth. And it's just like, it was fucking awesome. Excuse my language, but like, it was awesome,
Nah,
man.
you're good.
So it's like now, and it's like now, that was like, I didn't do my normal traditional stuff that I do for fights, but it's like now I know what I got to do. It's like I normally, take my rest day, and I was kind of more focused on recovery than I was that day. And like I was learning my whole roots of my mom and my dad, where they came up. It was my first time being able to hear the story of my parents, you know what I mean, being down there. So it was an amazing experience, man. It was all around just a blessing all the way around, man. And being able to perform for the people of Miami, man, I hope they enjoyed the fight. I mean, I know I did. So, getting fight of the night. And it's like, we just get started, man. We just get started. We just get started.
Okay, so now did you kind of push to get on this next? I mean, the next card's a pay per view card. So were you wanting to do that, or were you just wanting to keep active? So you said you take any fight, or
Oh yes, yes, man. I was trying to message out it. I was sending messages left and right, man, and everybody kept telling me, "Oh, you need this, you need that. Like, you need to jump in with this kind of gym to get this kind of fights." And like, no, like I keep trying to tell these people, man. Like, I get a lot of comments and stuff here and there sometimes too, where it's like, you're not a professional, you don't got a manager, and it's like, well, I built my own team. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't follow the normal traditional steps, and I'm just a normal guy off the kid off the old block. You know what I mean? Trying to come up and trying to get them 7 figures in the bank account at one point. You know what I mean? And then I found a purpose where it was like, wow, I actually found a better currency, which is actually giving back to people and getting that feeling of like, wow, I just really changed this guy's life. You know what I mean? And it's like, this guy really actually cares about me now, or he actually genuinely gives, has emotions still, and then you get those goosebumps where it's like, wow, like that, it exists. I guess it does exist. You know what I mean? And it's like now that's what kind of put me on this path where it's like now I'm here to do God's work, man. You know what I mean? I put my faith in that man above, and I started doing shit that I never knew I could, do, and I built my own relationship. I didn't follow the normal religious, I'm a Christian. I do go to church, you know what I mean? And I'm working on my language. I know it's a difficult thing for people to kind of take in and be like, oh, you're hypocritical. But it's like, yeah, I guess to your beliefs I'm hypocritical, but I got miracles happening in my life that I know I wouldn't have gotten without the man above. So regardless of what you got to say, you know what I mean? I'm out here doing work, putting people on their feet, getting entertaining, and, showing these next generation like dreams can still come true, because I'm on a platform that I never knew I would ever be on. Chasing the dream, man, and I'm actually living the dream now. I only could dream of being able to be in a fight like that. Thousands of people watching, lights on us, that heat, that intensity, that energy, like, bring it on, baby. You know what I mean? It was everything and more, you know what I mean, that I ever wanted in that. And it's like now this is just, it's a whole new level now. It's just taking that and taking it to another, like, magnificent, like, level that's just extraordinary. And this is no doubt a history, a day of history that's going to be remembered for very many years. You know what I mean? And this is the biggest show BKFC, baby. And we're going to show live for them. And we get to perform, man. And I tell you, I will not disappoint. I promise you that.
okay? So now, like going into your Jomi fight, I figured. I mean, your other two fights, I don't think made it out of the first round. You're one of those guys that starts fast, and I knew if Jomi made it out of the first round, like it was going to be a tougher fight. But I mean, there for a second, I thought you were going to end it in the first round also. So it's one of those. Did you have a full camp going into that fight? Because it seemed like you definitely. I mean, you got a little bit tired towards the ends, but
I didn't actually have a full. I probably had like 3.5 weeks of full time training for that fight, and it's like I wish I could. Like I said, man, I'm coming, an ordinary kid off the block, so there's like life is still kicking me in the balls here and there. I'm still fighting bills back, and I'm still doing all this and that stuff. I got a family that I very dearly love to care for, and I put everything else in front before, for them, I put them first, because it's like they're their next generation. So I get to kind of show them and work to show them, like, hey, you put the work in and dreams can come true. Like, I'm living the dream right now. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this for the people. I'm doing this for the next people that don't know that way, the path to take to get to this point. And, like, I get to be that living example. And, like, not only that, I get to support my veterans. You know what I mean? Huge shout out to the veterans, you know what I mean, that got us to be able to do all of this. Huge shout out, you know what I mean, to all of those people that have been able to push forward, and the communities that are helping the communities, all these guys that have given back. And, like, that's where I feel like I'm ready to start taking in an initiative and be that new train and be that new trend that comes in and just switches everything around. And, you know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe one day I might be talked about in the future, and I might get JFK or, MLK or whatever you say, just for the fact of the motions and the kind of movement I'm trying to put up here. But, I know there's a lot of people out there in the world that really need to see what we're doing, and they really need to see that, you know what I mean, the work that you got to put in to really get to these kind of platforms. And they need to see that there's another path up the mountain, you know what I mean, as long as there's bumps and bruises. There's bruises and thorns all through this, but getting to that point now, like I never believed that I would be here. And, I've been putting in faith, and I've been putting in the work, and I've been walking through the fire, and I'm becoming that diamond that everybody says you can't become. So, you know what I mean? I'm a living testimony right now, man, and I got to show the world, like, this is what it is, and this is how you do it. And It's true. You know what I mean? And I'm here to show him like this is the path. This is the way. On some Mandalorian shit, you know? This is the way.
So where did the Mohawk come from? At what point did you become Esteban the Mohawk? I mean, you always had one, or?
Wow, man. It goes back to about 2004. So I was getting picked on, and I was that little short
Okay.
fat kid that got picked on in school, man, you know, and it's just everybody was doing the same thing at the time. And at that point, I came to a point in my life where I said, you know what, this is it. I'm tired of being that little fat chunky kid getting picked on. I'm tired of being bullied. From this point forward, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna be one of the biggest, baddest motherfuckers they've seen around this bitch, and it's gonna be new. Everything's gonna be changed. And I'm like, what is it that's different around here that nobody's ever seen? I'm like, everybody's got the fade now, the high fade or the cross fade, and everybody's bald or they got this and that. You know, it was a simple high top and fade that I always seen around in my neighborhood. So I was like, I got to do something different. The only thing, you know, I was always into the animes and always into, you know, watching the cartoons, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Dragon Ball Z was my idol coming up. You know what I mean? Kakarot was my idol coming up. So, you know, watching all these animes, I was just like, what is it that I feel is cool and different, or that I can set myself apart? And I haven't seen people with Mohawks, so I was like, hey, let's get it, baby. It's time to shave this bad boy down, you know? So I took it off, man. I took the Jerry curls off. I had the whole little Jerry curl thing going. I left the Jerry curl Mohawk going, man, and it was a wrap ever since. Been rocking it ever since, man. 2004.
Okay, so wow. Okay, so I've asked other fighters this. Do you remember your very first street fight? And if so, like what happened?
That's a good question. That's a damn good question. My first street fight. I think my first street fight was actually with my sister. Shit. Man, yeah, I think it was my sister. And we was like, at one point, I was like, I'm tired of you picking on me. And next thing you know, we were boxing it out. And it was things I watching Rocky coming up and all that. You know what I mean? I might have gotten into a fight younger in my days, but the first one that comes to mind that I can remember was with my sister. And we were scrapping it out. And I mean, we were throwing blows, and like we went off the porch, and it was insane. And she was way bigger than me at the time, so there was a justification right there. Okay, she was beating everybody else's ass in the neighborhood, so I had to step up. But it was a wild, you know what I mean? We got a good old discipline after that one, man. But that's probably one of my first ones that I can remember. It was me and her boxing it out, and it was a pretty big porch that we went on. We went over, and we were trading blows, man. I think some heads were bounced off of some bumpers, and I came out pretty bruised up. I was crying here and there. I think no. Matter of fact, I remember I wasn't crying. She was crying, and I felt like a boss after that. Man, damn.
Okay.
I remember that, man. It was a while, man. That was a while ago. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you'll have to bring it up to her next time you talk to her. Be like, hey, remember that time I kicked your ass?
it was a draw fight. I wouldn't say I kicked her ass. It was a pretty fair fight. It was a pretty fair
Okay.
fight. She was actually
Okay.
In my defense, you know what I mean. She was getting the better of me, so I had to step up, man. I had to try to. That's when I came out, and I was like, whoa, I think I can fight. Oh snap, you know what I mean? And it was like one of those moments where it was like David takes out Goliath. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, you just took out the big poncho of the streets and this and that. You know, there's a new kid on the block. So I guess since then, you know what I mean, I was able to really get that
Nice.
confidence to be like, all right, now I think I might be able to hold my own. I stepped up for myself, and I feel like it was more of like stepping up for myself. Because like in my eyes, I feel like it was one of those huge boxing matches, but I'm pretty sure like in a third person or somebody else that was watching it, it was just a scruffle. but we still went over the porch and everything, man, and it was fun. I remember, wow, man, you took me back, man. That's the first time. That's one of the first times people ever heard that story outside the family, man.
Well, thanks for sharing it with us. We appreciate it. Okay, so you're fighting Keegan. You know, like Keegan outside of Denver, I don't think a lot of people knew who Keegan was. Going into the Weinmiller fight, I don't know anybody outside of like Keegan's teammates that had picked him. And then he absolutely just starched Weinmiller. So I mean, do you have a game plan going into this, or you're just kind of one of those guys that you like, there's no such thing as a game plan until you get punched in the mouth type of thing, or?
You better believe it, man. Listen, everybody's got a game plan till there's a fist in their mouth. That's when the real deal comes out. It doesn't matter who they put in front of you.
Sure.
I always tell people, they're like, you got a game plan this, like that. My game plan is to keep my head moving a little bit more. You know what I mean? Try to better myself, not necessarily going forward, but I'm here to test myself, man. Like I've never really been able to like draw like that true warrior out, till that Jomi fight, my last fight. That was when I really got to showcase, all right, this is
Sure.
what I'm built for, and this is what I'm here for, and this is what I'm made of. And even that fight, I still wasn't able to really click the way I wanted to. So it's like that. Like I said, man, I'm
Sure.
just getting started in this game, man. They don't know what's coming yet, man. They have no idea yet what is about to touch down. Like Keegan can train all he wants. I've been going up against guys that have been training all their lives, and I go in there and handle business. I go in there to fight,
Mm-hmm.
regardless. Some people go in there to dance, or they go in there to compete. Some people go in there to box. I go in there to kill. You know what I mean? I don't go in there to play it. People can die in this game. People can die out there. You know what I mean? Like there's people that have died from fighting. You know what I mean? They've gotten
Sure.
hit less, and now it's like it's dangerous out there. When I step in there, I feel like that other person's like, hey, they're gonna try to kill me, so I gotta try to kill too. It's like you release that true ambition or that true fighter. You know what I mean? Inside of you, that true burning like beast. That's like, all right, all rules are off, all go. You know what I mean? Or just like keep it professional still too, but. You know what I mean? As far as it is, it's go. All fucking take the lid
Sure.
off, no limits. Let's fucking go. Hard on the paint. Let's go. It's go time. So kill or be killed. Let's get it.
Okay, so you have a full camp going into this one though, so that'll be nice. So I mean, hopefully, like I don't know, are you picturing like another first round KO, or you're just set for the 5 round?
Well, I mean
you got to be picturing you're gonna go for the first round knockout.
this guy, depending on how much pressure he can handle, I don't think he's ever met a degree of fighter like me before. You know what I mean? A lot of these guys, like, they feel it out. They feel me out that first one, and it's like now I feel like my cardio is gonna be way better. My last fight, the people kept saying I was tired. I was a little tired, but the thing with me is I actually gain energy in my later rounds. You know what I mean? When I get into those deeper rounds, that's when I start focusing more.
Okay.
And that's when like I started seeing a lot more stuff. Like even there was a point when I was in the Jomi fight when I did a counter, I kind of came back and I went straight over top, and I was like, oh, I just did the O'Malley. I just did that O'Malley counter back and top over the top, and like in my mind in the fight, I was going through that in my head like, damn, I can't believe I just did that. You know what I mean? It's like. And to find that sense of you know what I mean, like thinking in those rounds in that critical moment, I thought it was pretty cool. You know what I mean? I got to explore those later rounds, and this is like it's something that I've never really been able to do unless I was in training camp, and I've never been in those waters before, and it was amazing. I was loving it. I was loving every minute of it, man.
Cool. Okay, so what else are you super passionate about? I mean, you love fighting, and you seem like a super passionate guy. I would love to hear some more stuff that like is like really important to you.
I love everything about the oceans and nature, man. I'm a nature guy. I'm like a modern day hippie. Tree hugger, whatever you want to call it. I love nature.
Okay.
I love the beauty of it. You know what I mean? I love being outdoors. I'm a very spiritual person. You know what I mean? I was raised a little different, so you know what I mean. I got some skills that some people would kind of frown upon, and I came up, different ways. Hungry, you know what I mean. Always trying to fight for my food, and and that victim of the environment, I guess you can say. You know what I mean? Being a victim of the environment, and it's like
okay.
It's been a tough road coming up, and it's now I'm finally getting to that point now where I'm like able to start showing people like, hey, listen. There's more things out here. Music, I love music. You know what I mean? Like, there's more things out here than just the ordinary dude, go to 9 to 5 and get up and go and do this. You know what I mean? Like, I've learned, I love art. I love drawing and stuff, too. Like, I could come up with some crazy stories. You know what I mean? Like, one thing I do with the family, we talk about stories. We make some stories up. And the music will play, and I'll tell the music, what comes into my mind at that time. And it's like the family's like, why don't you make movies or stuff like that? Or why don't you do graphics? And it's just like, well, I mean, life kind of kicks in the nuts when you don't pay the bills and you ain't doing this and you're not focused on one thing at a time and you don't get a head start on it. And so I can't really put too much time into that and then train and then being a family man. And then, it's been been a lot of different things. So I love instruments too. I love playing. I taught myself how to play the guitar. I can play the piano a bit. You know what I mean? My son got the harmonica out on me here and there. You know, we be getting down. I got a 12-string guitar. You know, I'll be playing, you know, thumping around, trying to get some corridos going here and there too. You know, and I mean, I like to venture off a lot of different things. You know what I mean? It was like music, art. You know, I'm a cybersecurity as well. You know what I mean? Getting into that as well. Specializing in server-side request forgeries and stuff like that, and IDORs. And dude, I mean, building stuff is one of my main passions. I love to build, man. Like now I'm in the carpentry. Now I was union doing doing floors and like polishing floors and stuff like that. And I also done masonry. And I'm actually like as of right now as well, currently painting. I just got done painting a house right now. Like I said, I just got to go finish touching up on that for J&J's construction. And now I'm gonna finish up that door. I've done landscaping. I love the landscaping, putting in trees, you know what I mean, taking out trees, putting in the mulch, laying down, you know, coming up with beautiful designs, tulips, orchids, you know, lilies and all that stuff, you know what I mean, coming up with different things of that nature. And then, you know, I'm passionate about my graphics, though, man, my animes. I love watching my animes here and there, man. And I've come to a point, like, I've written a couple of little books here and there, you know, little anime books, little stick-figure books, dudes, you know what I mean? And, like, just to kind of show my son and here and there, like, hey, you know, use your imagination a bit. Come up with these crazy, you know, stick-figure army fights, you know, stuff like that. You know, I got helicopters coming in, tanks coming out over here, little stick guys with 50 caliber Barretts shooting off at each other, crazy little things, you know. It's wild. It gets pretty wild, man. You don't want to get into the inside the mind of Mohawk, man. The rabbit hole goes deep.
But do you feel like you have ADD? Because I mean, you seem like you're so like all over the place with all your passion. Is it hard for you to focus on one, or are you that guy that has to have your finger? You're constantly moving, constantly doing something, or do you get like oh, I want to focus on only anime for a while, and then you get bored with that and go to, you know what I mean?
I mean, I guess you could kind of say a little bit of. I do feel like I do got a little something of that. I would say. I mean, I've never been diagnosed with it. I feel like I like to explore different skills, and I like to explore different things, you know, like, because once I got into it, I started seeing, because I watch Westerns, dude, I watch freaking dramas here and there, you know, I watch all kinds of different movies. Music, if you were to listen to the music I listen to, it's like, 1 minute I'm over here on some dubstep, then next thing you know, I got country playing, next thing you know, I got some Mozart going down in the background, you know, calming things down with some Lou flows. Then I got some Drake playing for the kids, you know what I mean? I would go through it all, man. You know, I'll run through it all and take things back, man. I kind of, like I said, I adventure, dude. I like to adventure different things, explore different styles of, you know, different genres, really different skill sets, different attributes, see what this world has to offer, you know? A lot of people like to stick to that one thing, and like I said, I've been able to build, you know, as of right now, I can build myself a house. I do concrete, you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to come up with, you know, blueprints for hydro generators, you know what I mean? Like my end game, I'm going to eventually own a waste to energy plant where I'm going to be able to clean the oceans, and I'm actually going to be building my own tugboats to be able to catch up, you know, trash, get the trash put up in the cubes, get the cubes put up into the semis, have the semis drop them straight off, start burning up all that good stuff, you know, energize whatever I need to energize, and then off of the burning material stuff, I can make materials to build houses, to be able to help homeless people and help out those that are in need, Section 8, or those that really need that kind of, you know, housing and stuff like that, be able to give back to the veterans as well and all that kind of stuff. And that's going to open up a lot of different doors for me that I feel is going to really help other people. And that's where I feel like that world changing is going to really happen, you know, because when I get some money, man, the world better watch out. The world better watch out, because I'm coming. I'm coming. Slowly but surely, I'm coming.
Do you remember, like, where you first found out about bare knuckle fighting? I mean, like, did you watch one, or you heard about it at the gym, or?
Ooh, no, actually, man. So what happened was I wasn't able to afford jiu-jitsu, so I had 3 losses back to back with an Americana. The Americana was my nightmare. And everybody that blew my shoulder out in my amateur days, that's why I ended up getting my first loss. And after that, man, everybody just kept Americaning me, so I kind of like had to fill that hole. And that's when I gave my life to God, man. I started praying. I'm like, look, I don't know what's going on. I bit the barrel, man. I bit the barrel. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I was in a really dark corner. I pulled myself out, and I was just like, what am I really doing here in life, and what am I really doing with this? What's really going on? Like, why is life doing this to me? Like, my parents aren't here. I don't got anybody to really lead thoughts into or like ask for advice, and like, kind of just winging it, doing it on my own, and it's like, I got to that point where it was like, all right, what am I really gonna start doing? And like, it came out. I got a message from. I ended up getting a message from Andrew Train Lee, man, out there from Omaha, Nebraska. He was owner of Dynasty MMA.
Okay.
And they had their hometown hero guy, Eric Murray, who was looking for a fighter. Nobody wanted to fight him. So I took that fight on a 2 weeks notice because I wasn't able to get any of the other fights. The other MMA fighters were trying to get me fights, but then I'd waste all my rent money on it, doing all dieting, dropping weight, and then it'd come down to the week of the fight and I'd get ghosted. And I'd be like, yo, what the hell's going on? And it was because I had those 3 Americanas back to back. So then the commissioners weren't letting the fights go through unless I had a winning record. So I kind of got screwed over on that one, and then I kept getting ghosted because it was fight after fight. And then I kept telling the guys, like, look, I'm spending my money on this. I'm doing dieting. My whole diet, my sleep has been fucked up. Like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore here. You know what I mean? Like, what are you guys trying to do? You know what I mean? Like, with my career, like, I got a family to feed. You know what I mean? And it's like, a lot of things were happening back to back to back and just hitting me, man. And then Andrew came through and was like, look, I got a fight for you. And I'm like, pump the brakes. My heart's been broken too many times already. This is what's going on with me. This is what's going to happen.
Right.
Can you get me the fight? And I was just like, I'll do anything. I'll rub your feet. And it's like, man. No, he came through, man. He got me the fight. And it was all, dude, I had to go through hell and high waters even to get that shit going, man. And it's like, I went through, I couldn't get my shoes. There was an issue with my shoes and Amazon. Then I had to go drive all the way out to Omaha or to Ohio, like Cleveland, Ohio, like at 3 in the morning to get those shoes to be able to even fight because I was going to lose contract. Then it was crazy. It was crazy. I didn't have corners at the time, and I was going through some transitional issues, you know what I mean, with gyms and with the, my budget and everything. It was just chaos, man. And I came through, and that's when I let go of the steering wheel, man, and that's when I put my faith in the man above, and I started praying, and that's when things started unfolding, man. And I went out there, and I got a viral knockout in front of like 6 million people or 7 million people that had, and I ended up going viral with that second round knockout, man, and it was just, woo, let's go, baby. I found my world, man. After that, I got put on ice, but I went and I started learning a lot of new different things, man. I filled that hole with jiu-jitsu. I ended up winning the jiu-jitsu tournament with the Americana. I got golden gi and the no-gi with the Americana. So I was able to do,
nice.
And I didn't even want to do the jiu-jitsu shit. I didn't even want to do it at all. I don't want to say I hate jiu-jitsu because it's actually a blessing. And like when I do it, I feel really good afterwards. But when I want to get to going to do it, it ain't going to happen. It's hard. It's hard to get started, but when you get started, it is amazing, man. So I filled that hole up, man, and it's just been, you know what I mean? I went in there and I got that knockout, and everything just kind of started snowballing from there. And I took out the hometown hero, man, and then I ended up filling the gap. And they didn't like it at first, but they had to do nothing but respect it, man, because it was just one of the best things I felt like I was able to really do. You know what I mean? I put my heart on the line, and I was able to come out, man, on top on that fight, and it was a viral knockout in front of 7 million people, man, and that was when everything finally started for me, man. And now we're here now, and I would have never thought, man. I would have never thought. I would have never thought. Now just taking names.
Well, that's awesome. So is there any what's that?
I said, and now I'm just taking names off and taking heads. Knocking names off the list.
Got it. All right. So is there anybody you'd like to thank, like sponsors or your family or anybody you'd like to thank before we end?
Well, definitely want to give a huge shout out to Reserve Marketing, you know what I mean, Grand Rapids. They've been helping me out a huge, you know what I mean, for my camps. J&J Construction for being patient with me, showing me all the skills that I know now. JP Quality Services as well. They were helping me out doing with heating and cooling. Like, they were helping fund all that stuff, and all the people that's helped me via Cash App. And, all the veterans out there, thank you, gentlemen, because if it wasn't for you guys, we would not be here, because freedom isn't free. And all those dream chasers out there, man, listen, you guys do not give up. I'm a living example, baby. We doing it. We're doing it. I never expected to be here, and I'm doing it. I put the work in. I cashed the check, and I said, I'm here, baby. I'm here. It's true. Unicorns do exist. Like, man. So just put the work in, man, you guys. Chase your dreams. And listen, it'll happen. Just be patient. When it gets hardest, when it gets the fucking hardest, that's when it's about to fucking be the closest, and that's when it's about to come through and break through. Thank you so much for having me, man. Like, my coaches, thank you so much, Calvin Harbaugh, Tara Harbaugh, my wife, my manager, you know, Myra Rodriguez, she's been there. If it wasn't for her, you know what I mean, I would not have this at all organized in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Robert Gidron, too, you know, Silverback, he's been helping me out, you know, and honestly, just everybody that's been able to put this together, you for being able to put a platform for us to be able to talk on this kind of show, you know what I mean, and put us out there. Like, we wouldn't be here without you, too, so thank you so much for everything that you do, you know what I mean, like, because it takes a lot of, you know, guts, and it takes a lot of, you know, what would I say, cojones to be able to do what you do, because one of the things that I've been haunting my ass coming up has been these interviews, man, but ever since I've been finding this purpose, I'm just like, this is me, this is what you get. You know what I mean? You can love it or hate it, but this is what you're going to get, man. I'm a dream chaser. I'm going to show the world this is what's going to happen. And then when I get my money to be able to change the world, you better watch out in the world, because I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm going to clean up the streets.
You're going to save the world.
I'm on a mission. And I'm going to thank every veteran on the way. And I'm going to thank every person that helped support me on the way. And I'm going to show these little chimichangas that we can do it, baby. We can do it.
Awesome. Well, you're a fan favorite on the Reddit for sure. Like, everybody loves how action-packed and animated you are. So we appreciate your time, and thanks so much for joining us today.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you guys again, man. Get your popcorn, buckle up, because this fight you don't want to miss, man. It's going to be a banger. And I do this for you guys, and we will be able to get a fight of the night, or we're going to be getting a knockout of the night. But one of those motherfuckers is coming, so put on, baby, and knuckle up. Let's get it.
Right on. Thanks, sir.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you, man. I really appreciate you. I'm enjoying this.